Spina bifida is a developmental condition that affects babies in the womb, and what happens is that the spinal cord doesn't develop properly and doesn't form properly. There's a number of adverse results from that. One of the things you can get is hydrocephalus, which is fluid on the brain. Everyone knows that they can have troubles with walking. Sometimes they need wheelchairs, sometimes they need splints. And if the nerves that are affected by the spina bifida go to the legs and they don't particularly work, that can cause different levels of disability. Some children can walk, some children can't walk. It depends on where the level is. Most cases of spina bifida are diagnosed antenatally, when the baby's still in mum's womb. It can be diagnosed, there's sometimes suspicion on the blood tests that they get and the ultrasound scans. That there's usually a booking scan at about 12 to 14 weeks.
Initially it was a surprise, obviously. We didn't expect when we went in for our scan for it to be anything other than usual. The sonographer went a bit quiet and just kind of said, I think there's a problem with your baby's brain and spine, and then left the room. But they came back and said to us that your baby's definitely got spina bifida. And they took us through to a family room. It was quite baffling, to be honest. You're kind of left in a situation where you're not really sure what the situation is, and you're not really sure what your options are. And then the very next thing they say to you is, you can terminate if you want.
When parents get the diagnosis of that their baby in the womb has got spina bifida, it's a really difficult time for them. They've got to make some really difficult choices. They've got to decide whether they're going to keep the pregnancy or they're not going to keep the pregnancy. And it's a very stressful time. They need information. They're desperate for information.
When we had that meeting in the family room, they gave us a bunch of leaflets. And one of the things was the leaflet for the Scottish Spina Bifida Association. And I think it probably took me about maybe a week or so to pluck up the courage to phone somebody. But when I did, they were very helpful, and they told me that Sophie would come round and see me, and that it was fine, not to worry about it, and it was okay, and they were just really kind of, it was a breath of fresh air, to be honest.
Discussion by parents with the Spina Bifida Association is just hugely useful. So they know that they're going to have support, they know that they're going to have someone there they can talk to who knows what it's all about.
They said that he would be completely paralysed from the chest down, that he would have no bladder or bowel function, that he would spend his whole life in a wheelchair, that he would never move any of his lower limbs at all, he would have no sensation in his lower half of his body. They said that he would have, because of the hydrocephalus, he would have problems breathing, swallowing, possibly sight and hearing. One medical professional actually said to me that his quality of life would be so non-existent, really, that if he did survive by some miracle, it would be better if he didn't.
When we've just had a child referred or a family referred who found out, would get in touch with them and arrange a meeting at their house or wherever's convenient for them, and offer the information if that's what they're looking for at the time, or sometimes it might just be the emotional support initially. It's building up a relationship with those families, and so that they know that the information's available to them.
You cannot help but wonder what it's going to be like, because nobody can give you definitive answers. When you're pregnant, they can only just say what they think is probably going to happen. Just having somebody, because at that point, I think that was the only voice that was saying, it's not going to be terrible, it's going to be fine.
There's a family group that meet every month, the last Saturday of every month. It's a thriving group of families with the children all different ages, and the parents can be a great support to one another, have been through things at different stages, so can also share ideas and tips and strategies to get through. So it's a great peer support group. It's a privilege to do that. It's really, really inspiring.
The Scottish Spina Bifida Association are a really essential organisation for us. We see the children when they're born, but the Spina Bifida Association will help them lifelong.
The Scottish Spina Bifida Association, to me, have been a friend. They have been the reassurance I needed when I needed it. They have been the people that took the work and the worry out of my day and out of the situation and just kind of guided me through and just gave me hope.